Welcome to Caribbean Wellness. I am Dennise Demming. We focus on emotional, psychological, and social well-being. On today's edition, we welcome Nirad Tewarie. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Denise. Thanks for having me, and good day to all of your viewers, whatever time of day you look at this.
Yes, because this could happen at any time, night or day. But thank you very much for being with us. And wellness, to me, mental wellness is a really critical issue. How do you feel about it? How does our society respond to it? Is it something that's on your agenda?
Yeah, it's definitely something that's on my agenda. I'll be honest, it became more of an issue that I was aware of when I joined Amcham and we were doing our HSSE conference, which is now running for 26 years. And we started to see the importance of mental health in the health and safety track and how much attention it was attracting from leadership and from how people responded to those sessions. And of course, participating in them, listening in, and so on, I learned more and more. And then, by coincidence, I did some work on dispute resolution, and that led me to make contact with a therapist, and with different things that were happening in and around me and my family and so on. We'd never really thought about it, but we thought, talking to someone might be useful. And we did. And I felt that this was a useful tool for me personally. And there were times when I would go and see someone just because. It really, though, started to hit home when one of my cousins came to live with us. When we grew up, he was like a little brother to me. He lived very close to us, and then he moved away and he came back and lived with us for a little while. And we didn't realize that he was going through significant mental trauma. And when we did, we tried to, of course, understand and get him help, and we did some of that. But we really didn't, at least I didn't really understand. And just about a year ago, he took his own life. That journey has been very, very difficult for us as a family, as an extended family, and has made me believe that one of the things that I could do to honor him is become, in a small way, at least for now, an advocate for mental health, and someone who puts it squarely on the table, which I do with my staff, with random people that I talk to. I got I don't know if you could see it, but I got a tattoo of the semicolon, so that when people see it and ask, well, what's that? We can talk about mental health. So with regard to your question, I would like to think that society is realizing that we need to do more around mental health, and certainly the pandemic has made individuals, employers, employees more conscious of the fact that life is multidimensional.
It's a difficult conversation for people to have, and particularly in the work environment. Do you have any comments on how could we encourage people in the work environment to stand up and say, yes, I need help?
My leadership style is that I talk to my people. I may not do it every week. I may not do it every month, but if I sense a problem, I make the time. I don't know. I don't know what we can do specifically, but what we have to do is talk about it and be open to having the conversation and understanding that different people need different kinds of support.
Yeah, yeah. You've pointed out that it is part of your benefits. So that is something that employers can do, part of the benefit package. But there still seems to be some lack of uptick on taking advantage of that benefit. What are some thoughts you have around how could we encourage people to admit that I need help?
I don't know. I really wish I knew the answer, because I know people who I feel, and of course this might sound a little paternalistic, but I mean, and everybody has to make their own decision, of course. But you could see that they're struggling. And so and they may even admit that they're struggling. And you feel, okay, while you're open to having any conversation, because of the work dynamic, and because it might be in a work setting, or because you may know too many people, so outside of work you may know too many people in common, and they don't want to open up with you, so you encourage them to go and see someone else, a professional, and also you may not have the skills just as an individual, and they resist, and you tell them I mean, if it's a question of finances, you try to show them how it's possible, what are the benefits, and they don't go. So I think maybe talking about it more, as I say, so bringing awareness, things like what you're doing, maybe sort of in talking about it, like any good media strategy, communication strategy, showing that people are doing this, people that they might know and trust. And as you know, that ranges from people like me, right? So you need people from all strata of society, of all looks, all backgrounds, talking about these things. I think, I don't know.
Yes, that will make an impact. But let's just switch the conversation a little to our children. What are some comments, or what are some of your observations about how we could encourage our children to engage in mental wellness?
Should never be seen as a thing or place where you go to write exams. And so that requires a different philosophical approach to the role of the school than some people have. However, I think there are many principals, many teachers who understand that, and finding ways to identify those administrators and those teachers, and replicate what they do in the good things that they do, would be quite helpful in the process. Certainly blaming and saying things are the way they are because parents don't do what they have to do, or because teachers don't do that, that's not what is necessary. It's finding things that work and trying to build on them as you go. And you know, I encourage everyone to try and get involved in a school, even in a small way, a football team, a netball team, a cricket team, even if you don't want to get involved in the school itself. And you'd be surprised how much you grow and learn and get from that.
That's an excellent suggestion. And Nirad, I want to thank you for being so vulnerable by telling us that you've had a situation with suicide and, raising it as an issue, raising mental wellness as an issue. And as we end this interview, what would be your parting comments?
There's a perception around the world, but certainly in Caribbean society, which is still very macho in the broad sense of the word macho, that asking for help is a sign of weakness, when in fact it is the opposite. Strong people know that to continue to be strong and get stronger, you need help. And help is not a negative word. Help is a positive word. And asking for help is the first step in being able to expand your capacity in whatever sense. So please ask for help. in whatever way, in whatever sense.
Thank you very much, Nirad. And you've been listening to Caribbean Wellness, a program in which we provide a space to talk about what do we need to ensure that we are mentally strong and that we are able to have a society that is well balanced. Caribbean Wellness, like and share our editions. Until next